Again, what a crazy way to start this event. Again, look at hearing those updates even as well. Again, it's kind of cool where we're set up too, because we're right next to Sync Esports over here to our right, so we could actually, and they have that monitor in front again of one of the players, so we get the perspective. It looks like it's Lapped is actually who we have the perspective of. Currently playing a Tempest, it looks like, and I can't see exactly from here, but it looks like a very, very even game, if anything. There in game number 2. Again, they're playing against who are they playing against? Turtle Master. That's right. So. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got game number 2. We got some more HoN coming at you. That's what matters. Let's jump in here. Game number 2, Cats Gaming going to be taking on Team MRR.
Oh, that looked cool.
That was awesome.
That was awesome, man.
Our production, they got some aces up their sleeves, man.
Yes.
I mean, that was badass, what just happened right there. Tore us away. All right, so, of course, again, Cats Gaming up one game to another. But you brought up a good point, too. You know, that was a marathon game. We've seen games like that before, you know, 70-plus minutes especially.
Yep.
Rare, but we have seen them. If there's a game to follow, one team maybe seems like the team that lost, especially, it's like they're just so exhausted. It's like we were so close to that huge, long game, and we came out on the losing end. How do you respond? We're going to see a lot here from MRR. How do they respond?
It could be either team, though, really. Of course, MRR should be the team that is more so exhausted, because you go into this second game with the loss after the 75-minute game, but even the Halberd team could let their guard down in a way. After such a long game, like, if you gave it your everything to win that game, maybe you now think, okay, we have what it takes to beat them. We still have a shit ton of tournament matches to play after that, so let's take it a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye if any team looks more inflated than the other in terms of following up that epic game number 1 right there. We got a draft to look at, though. How about this so far? Kronos, Ophelia, Pebbles, Tempest were the band, so several jungle heroes as well as Kronos, Pebbles. And then you got Puppet Master first picked into Pestilence, Rhapsody into Torturer, Sir Bensington coming out again. This hero is going to be the hero of the event. We kind of talked about that even coming in, and it seems like it's already shaping up to be that way.
Yep. God KSSA is also known as Color X. He is the jungler for the team. Then Eversay, or now MVP Eversay. Then we have Cheetah 1 and 071. And Pong Pang is the Dooku player that we saw in the All-Star match yesterday. Yeah. So just a quick clarification there on the names.
He, again, I was actually sitting with State Green on the way over here. Again, they were actually mentioning they were really impressed with him in the All-Star match. They didn't even know what to expect with him, and they saw him play. They're like, wait, whoa, this guy's really good. Like, we may need to be worried about him come to later today. So, yeah, he's their carry player, I believe he said, for them. So. We'll see what he ends up with. But the final pick, by the way, coming out with Kraken over there for Cats Gaming. And now into the band Soul Stealer first band. Very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting also that last game we actually saw Puppet Master and Sir Bensington here for the Cats Gaming side, and this time it's on the Legion side. And Cats Gaming this time taking the slightly more defensive approach, having the Pesty Torturer that was actually part of the lineup for MRR last game, and a Kraken who's not the most offensive hero either until he has a certain amount of levels, and maybe even the first core item. So already having a switch in styles here, and I mean, if you're a fan of Cats, you might get a little bit worried here, because it was a 75-minute slugfest, and they came out of on top with very aggressive heroes, and now they have a sort of defensive lineup to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, again, we'll see what kind of that pace of the game goes starting from the beginning of these two teams. So Nomad's being right-clicked over that. I keep eyeing that. Is that something that MRR maybe has ran? Or
they could actually
yeah?
play Nomad here, yeah.
Huh.
I mean, you see different heroes from the Asian side if they play their own game, and they don't respect Cats nearly as much as they do other international teams. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. And even ADN is currently playing a Jerizaya against Stay Green, which is a hero that we've seen before as well, but not as much, and it's quite frequent here in the Southeast Asian scene. But then again, what's frequent when they pick almost every single hero? Yeah,
well, actually, it looks like Kiddo's the one even playing it, and we saw him yesterday, of course, playing it for them against N2H, I think it was, in that series, and that was fun. That's when we went the very early portal key right off the bat, and kind of snowballed from there. So, yeah, again, the Soul Stealer band, I was eyeing that. It was like, I guess Cats Gaming has history playing the Soul Stealer. I would think FF is the one.
Yeah, and that would, again, Scandal, you remember his Soul Stealer, right? So that is really interesting to make the comparison here.
I wouldn't be surprised if FF, that happens to be an idol that he looks up to. I mean, because, again, Scandal, no doubt, very arguably the best player out of Russia we've had in history.
I really hope that we're not going to see Keeper of the Forest here for the Albon side, because he is, of the 4 top junglers, he is the most passive jungler by far. And if you have already a dual support with such aggressive heroes between Rhapsody and Engineer, and the laners being Sir Benzington and Puppet Master, that would be suicide to go for a Keeper of the Forest here, unless we run him suicide. But I don't think they do it, because they already have their lanes pretty much settled. They could still run 2 dual lanes. They could have a Kraken dual lane and a Pestilence dual lane instead of Keeper long lane. That's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. You know, Keeper and that Suicide presence, it got nerfed a lot, obviously. The armor, the regen and everything, it got hit pretty hard. So we are seeing a lot more of that Keeper of the Forest jungle come back to existence. And, you know, Hans can actually say that he loves playing it for some reason. He's one of the few people that actually likes playing Keeper of the Forest, especially in the jungle, which was funny to hear. But, yeah, it is possible, as you're saying. It's definitely very, very passive amongst the other ones, especially at that top tier list. No Keeper here by any means. Magnus is going to be that final pick coming out from Team MRR, starting to swap up now. Again, not too sure until they actually ready up, but
yeah, this is a lineup that just screams aggression all over. A lot of low cooldown spells, a lot of burst. Puppet Master Ultimate is known to be one of the burstiest spells that you can have on a carry for sure. And I mean, Sir Benzington, I kind of don't want to say its name anymore because it's going to be said so many more times. And then we have an interesting utility lineup / defensive lineup here on the HoN side, and the last tier will make or break the lineup here. We already talked about how they can break into 2 dual lanes, but they can also run all sorts of strategies right now. What they have going for them is that both Kraken and Pestilence are rather tanky heroes, not just because they're strength heroes, but also because of their armor at the very beginning of the game.
I'm thinking Moon Queen here.
Moon Queen could definitely be possible, but won't she suffer too much against dual roam?
True, it's. I just feel it's going to be that hard carry for them. I think the lineup shaping up for me to be kind of just a very hard carry, kind of like a Dark Liddy, a Moon Queen, a Sand Wraith. They go Arachna, so a little bit different than honestly what I was expecting, and that's more of an aggressive,
That is worrisome though, because Arachna doesn't have too much impact in the mid game unless she has the first core item ready already, and then she can actually make kills happen with the ultimate. No, absolutely, of course, but the laning phase is going to be so hard for the Arachna here, depending on how MMR shapes up to have the lanes.
She's going to be, I was going to say, she doesn't bring a stun to the table either, but she does have 4 stuns around here, so you know, that's not the end of the world in the end. But, yeah, that's going to be fun to watch here as far as that matchup is concerned. So, Arachna, not your typical carry, but FF going to be playing that here. So here we are, game number 2. Once again, game 1, a 75-minute victory in favor of Cats Gaming over MRR. And obviously we didn't cast it because we were casting the other series, of course, but they took out MRR in the first game, and I know Akama was. I just love that, man.
That fist is so good.
Akama over here, actually, he's to our right over here. He's the CIS caster. He, of course, he's going to be following Cats Gaming all throughout the group stages, of course, and you could even tell they were pretty excited over there. You know, obvious bias casting, but in the end, hey, it's they're here representing their region, and it's definitely, I'm sure, good to see their team doing very well off the bat. So
I think they're pretty professional, actually, not that biased.
Well, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean that they're sitting here like, oh, Cats Gaming making all the big plays and MMR sucking or anything like that. But you know, understandly, they're more passionate about Cats Gaming than the other teams.
Absolutely.
I guess a better way to put it. You're right. That should have
same way as you were passionate about Jonas.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a stay green bias, man, all the way.
Oh God.
That's what I get told.
Okay, sticking to the winners. I see. So. Let's quickly go over the names. The game is competitive now that we actually have the first pause right away.
Yes.
So let's use that time. I think I'll just go over MMR.
Sure.
Oftentimes mistaken for MMR, but it's actually MRR. Neolution Esports being the sponsor here for that team. God KSSA, also known as Color X, gonna not play jungler here. Same as Peter Yates in the last series. He is actually known to play junglers, and especially Ophelia a lot. He was that was the first hero he really got known for, Ophelia. Now taking on the Rhapsody here. Then we have Say going to play the Engineer here, and we can't really predict yet whether it's going to be a dual lane, tri-lane, roaming, any sort of stuff. And then we have Cheetah One, one of the most famous players in Thailand by far. Cheetah One X gets all the girls. He's going to play the Magnus. And 071 to play. Actually, he's called 071. I have no idea why, because he's a V in this name.
071.
But it's 071, I don't know. But he is going to take on the Sir Benzington bot award himself, unless they pulled it with a courier, which I don't think so. So that's pretty interesting. His gold, should make up. He bought the award himself. So they have dual support. but they led their offlaner by the word himself. There's definitely a reason for that. And then Duikyu taking on the Puppet Master here, currently known as Punk Pang, whatever that means. So, what we have on the Hellborn side?
On the Hellborn side, we got Cats Gaming over here. Again, a team we know a lot by now in terms of they've been to many LAN events. Haven't had the most success, but hey, maybe it's different here. The HoN Tour World Finals coming out of nowhere is already up 1-0. We got Guess Who playing the Torture. Guess Who? He's really one of the names that, if any, you probably also recognize from old school. You know, speaking of Scandal and Baby, I know Guess Who was even playing with those guys way back in the day, early on in the competitive HoN scene. So he's been around forever. So Guess Who playing the Torture. Artmeister playing the Pestilence over there for Cats Gaming. Shyla, of course, on Kraken. FF, as we've talked about, perhaps the new Scandal going to be coming out here, playing the Arachna, and then, of course, Kwai. He was actually in the All-Star match. He was the All-Star representation for CIS. He didn't have the best performance in the end, but hey, he participated and did and I'm sure had fun with it in the end. He's going to be playing Master of Arms.
And there's a reason why he got voted into the All-Star match as well over the other players. So, yep, that is something to keep in mind. He should be warmed up by now. Interesting is that the squad on the Hellborn side is really old, as you already pointed out for Guess Who. Not in terms of age, but in terms of experience in the scene. Guess Who, I remember the first matches that I played in HoN were partially against Guess Who.
Yeah.
Artmeister has been around forever as well. I've played with him in DreamHack with the Fail ITS squad.
That's right, yeah.
One of the funnier experiences of my life. And Sheila Styles, as most know him by the name, that is a really old player as well. And even FF has been around for quite a while, and then Kwai as well, of course. So a huge amount of experience here on the Hellborn side. And I mean, the team here for MRR, they kind of had this roster for quite some while as well. Color Eggs and Cheetah One, etc. have been playing together for a long while, but still they swapped their roster definitely more than Cats did. So that is something that you always have to keep in mind when you attend LAN events. How well do you know your players? How much synergy do you have? Because there are teams that can just burst into a LAN event with 5 players that have barely played before, and they perform really well because they're on fire and they're motivated to do it. But mostly, it's easier to play with experience and synergy. Definitely.
So, okay, actually, about Cats Gaming as well, you know, you're talking about how they an experience, either old and not in age necessarily, but honestly, in age too. I mean, there are a couple of players, 24, 25 years old. You know, it's not old by any means, but in the gaming world, it is on the older end of things. And actually, they are the oldest team in that sense too at this event. So, you know, they got that. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, to be honest. In
I
the
think
gaming
it doesn't
world.
really matter.
Yeah, but it's interesting to note.
Yep, definitely.
In the end, so. All right, what do we see here, though? Look at this defensive tri-lane going to be set up here by Cats Gaming, at least from the looks of it.
Yep, they're going to expect an aggressive tri-lane here coming out of the Legion side, and that's not what the Legion side is going to do.
Yeah.
And I hope that Kraken sees the Rhapsody. He should see the Rhapsody here. I'm not sure if he did, because that's not his word. But as soon as he sees the Rhapsody, the Hellborn side needs to switch it up, because they can't afford to have a defensive tri-lane against the Sir Bensington just to shut him down and lose both middle and bottom.
That is interesting, yeah. So I'm sure that adjustment is going to be made sooner than later, but you know, kind of unfortunate not guessing that or seeing that right off the bat, and going to have to take a little bit of time to make that adjustment as a result. But they're also, they're expecting this to be counterworded, maybe even more players. They're going to really try to maybe get the Sir Bensington, but you can tell 071 is playing very, very carefully. He's kind of creeping up. He's like, oh, hey, Torture. Okay, we're just going to have some fun here.
Yeah, even saw the Pestilence as well, and this setup by Cats is actually pretty bad. They might be tired already after the first game, but the way the hero stood, there was no way that they would ever going to get a kill with that, no matter which hero steps in there. So I hope the adjustment is going to be made, and indeed Torture is going middle. Already the first cack here to arrest the Arachna, but an Arachna Torture lane against the Magnus Engineer.
Yeah. It's very odd. There is no synergy there really, and obviously there's no double stun potential from the Hellborn team. And if anything, it's just another kill target, even possibly for this Magnus Engineer, which is a very, very deadly combo in the right hand. So, but it's like, where do you put Torture though? Could you set him long lane, I guess, to babysit?
No, I think it's actually better to have the Master middle instead of the Torture, because the Master has a target stun, so you will definitely always hit it. And his asset is actually really beneficial for the Arachna if they could ever turn around at around level 6, for instance. And something I do like here is that Torture is extremely aggressive on the early levels. And if you want to win such a lane as Arachna Torture against such an aggressive lane here between Engineer and Magnus. You need to shut down the Magnus on the first 5 waves before he gets his bottle. If he gets his bottle early, the lane is almost lost because he's going to have so much regen that the only advantage for the HoN side here is just wasted.
Yeah. So he's going to be chasing down this Master of Arms here, kind of trying to box him out and let him know that he's going to be here to fight it. Again, Sir Bensington is a very scary suicide here to play against, as we've been talking about, because of that burst damage potential with the Lance Along ability. That on top of he lands that Joust, which isn't the most difficult to land. In the end, could definitely set up even a kill, and that's the last thing you want, is to give up a kill.
Indeed, and there's another reason why I would really like to see Torture top instead of Master. His Impalement does significantly more against a melee suicide hero than Master could possibly do. And I mean, both of them are still level 1. We're only 2 minutes into the game, but I think Bensington is going to get a lot more than he's supposed to get against the pesty Master of Arms here.
You know, I do wonder if it is one of those cases. Oh, actually, yeah, Rhapsody coming in with the invis. This is going to be big. Setting up for the bloodlust kill. Rakna's going to be caught. That's not the target you want if your cat's going to be caught out, but she is, and she will fall. In the end, bloodlust kill coming out. The HoN and carapace not nearly enough to mitigate for the counter, or even to stay alive for that matter. And obviously sets up the kill. So your beautiful 2-minute invis rune into a bloodlust kill puts MRR on top.
And it looks like the ward that Kraken had for the bottom side got countered, but then again he also countered the lane ward here, which doesn't actually do much for him because he doesn't need to counter the lane ward. There won't be any ganks on the Kraken lane anytime soon, but whatever, maybe they still had the reward of revelation and just wanted to put it to good use. The thing is, right now the mid lane has to play, the mid lane for Cats has to play so extremely passive because Rhapsody could come in anytime again and they don't have ward vision. They won't even know any movement here.
Top lane again, you do see Master of Arms. Master of Arms is still level 1 as well. That's important to know too, because you got a level 3 Sir Bensington now. Again, that level 2 Lance Long, a lot of burst damage potential out of that, as we even saw right there a little bit. So Master of Arms probably going to get a level 2. Okay, he does get level 2 right there at least, but yeah, needs to continue to be very, very careful about that. In the end, as far as the bottom lane, how is that shaping up for Puppet Master? I'm sure it's doing great. 24 and 14 for Dukwai, or Dukui,
Daku, yeah. Daku. Which is kind of the same as Pestilence has, but the difference here is that Bensington... Oh, actually not. Okay, I take that back. Bensington actually being perfectly equal with the crack. Same XP per minute, same creep score, except for 1 creep and 1 deny more. So, okay, I take that back. Actually, both offlaners having a really hard time here, and the thing is that you just mentioned about level 1 Master of Arms. Master of Arms is a hero you really want levels on, even as a support. You want level 3 asset, you want the ultimate really, and you want level 4 asset ASAP. Compared to a Glacius, compared to a Torture or something, even a Torture can deal with less experience than a Master of Arms to make full use of him. And I feel like a level 6 Pestilence is not as effective as a level 6 Puppet Master, for instance, would be. That opens up a lot more kill potential. So a little bit of a misplay here coming out from Keds in terms of the XP that they... Magnus taking a lot of damage.
And again, oh yeah, he drops in fairly low right there, but in the end it's going to be fine. How's he doing, by the way? I'm sure he's doing solid. He's coming off that kill, but still only about 270 gold per minute, so it's not like he's excelling by any means when it comes to his farm.
He is only 12 and 1 compared to 18 and 5 Arachna. So despite the death, Arachna only 50 GPM behind. And with Bloodlust, that is a huge difference.
Bottom lane, Kraken might be in some trouble. He does have a Tsunami charge. Can he get it off in time? The Puppet Show coming out though with that Voodoo Puppet. Will it be enough for the kill? Yes, and well, Puppet Master. Beautiful block as well coming out from Rhapsody, really to make sure Kraken was in a very, very tough spot. And also just a great job of timing the stuns on top of one after the other, or staggering even the stuns rather than overusing them, of course. So good execution results in a good kill coming out for MRR. And, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about. After a really long game like that, we are seeing a couple of things where it's like you kind of wonder where the mindset is at for a team like Cats Gaming in this case, and maybe it is wearing them a little bit here in game 2. So
definitely possible. They do have a lane ward middle now, so they're able to spot the Rhapsody, and I think Rhapsody knows that she got spotted. Also, the lane doesn't really favor the Legion side right now for any ganks. There's going to be stacking going on the Ancients. Ancients already triple stacked here for the Legion side. They don't really have the greatest farmers just yet. As soon as Puppet gets, however, a lot of levels on his Whiplash and the Whispering Hand, he's going to be able to take that. Some harass going on the Bensington here. Master of Arms trying to get as much experience as possible. That lands. We all love to hate it, don't we?
Oh, gee. It's just such a short cooldown, too. And it's not even a lot of mana. 85 mana. Oh, actually, going to land up. It's an action right here while talking about the skill set. Torture does get picked off. Obviously, Rhapsody again coming in. I don't know if she had a 6-minute rune there, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised, but able to get in there for the kill. And they're going to chase after Arachna as well. Magma stuns in. Down goes Arachna. Master Arm's coming over, but I don't think he's going to get here in time for enough counter. No, not going to happen. Tilts a stun out, but it's just not enough damage. And in the end, MRR making a statement here, especially in the middle lane. I want to get your thoughts on something, though, real quickly. Pestilence here. He was actually pulling up. I think he had 1,500 gold at a point. It was looking like he was actually maybe even going for that early Alchemist mode, which we do see a lot in a short lane Pestilence. He actually went Steam Boots, though. I don't know if he's still going to go it, but do you think that was a mistake? Should he have gone up?
If your team falls behind like they're doing right now, it's a really smart decision to not go for Alchemist Bones, because it doesn't matter if you're, let's say, 5-minute GPM or something, but you actually, your teammates are all 0-5, 0-6, 0-8. So it's good that he goes for Steam Boots, hopefully Vestments, then gets a fast portal key and tries to make something happen with the free front that he is being granted.
All right, so yeah, got some Steam Boots. Again, we'll see. You would think it would be that portal key, especially at this rate. And again, it is a very good rate. He is farming 360 gold per minute. It is behind the Puppet Master, but still doing very good himself. But once he gets that portal key, it's going to determine a lot where this game goes, because no doubt he's going to need to be that control maker. And you know, we do see every now and then, especially with an item like portal key, where a hero like Pestilence will get the portal key, and then he'll just continue to farm. And it makes you, look at that like, well, why did you even get the portal key in the first place if you're not going to look to use it? So we're really going to keep an eye on that to see once Artmeister gets in here, if that starts to flow after or not.
With all the CC here and the nuke potential coming up from the Legion side and not too much follow-up on the Pesty portal key, you might actually see a fast either Helm of the Black Legion or be Shrunken Head right away from the Pestilence. So that would actually be a bad decision, I feel, in this game. And what I also would like to see is that as soon as he gets his first core item, let's say, or is on his way to his first core item, let's say he is going for Shrunken Head. Oh, they really want to dive here. Not sure whom they want to go for.
Well, apparently it's Torture, and they will be successful with that. The Hasted Rhapsody? Yeah, Rhapsody with the Hasted. Rhapsody's doing a fantastic job of rune control. It is paying off. Eruption going to be activated right here. He's trying to get a kill on a crack, and he will charge in. Sir Bensington even flies in from the skies to assist right there. In fact, takes credit for the kill. In the end, 6-0 hero kill start for MRR. The momentum is all theirs. It's just more and more going to rely on this Pestilence here when he gets that portal key. What is going to happen? Because this is already starting to get out of control.
Yeah, he would probably do go for a portal key because they need some desperate moves right now in order to make something happen.
Oh, jeez. Sir Bensington, again, this is another reason why this hero is so strong. Doesn't need the most farm. He hits level 6. He's moving, setting up kills very easily, as we saw right there. Again, the burst damage on that Lancelong, and then, of course, this ultimate gives him that mobility. And they push the bottom tower in the meantime. It's, 6,000 gold lead, 5,300 experience, and MRR making a point that game number 1, hey, 75-minute game. They lost it in the end. They're not letting that phase them. There's the portal key, though, coming out for Pestilence. So now, where will he go from here?
Yeah, with that being said, another kill here on the Kraken, and really, it is the question, where will he go from here? Kraken doesn't have ulti, Arachna doesn't have ulti, obviously the supports don't have ulti, so he actually needs to wait for those ultis in order to be able to engage somewhere. He will still try to go for the bottom lane, but I feel that could be a huge mistake.
He's going to be going in right here. You do see Puppet Master going to be locked down. He's quite tanky, though, for this point of the game. Has those Steam Boots on strength, the Whispering Helm. That's not a kill. I mean, usually that would be in a more of an even game, of course, but because they're so over-farmed compared to the Hellborn side, he's able to survive. And as you said, might not have, at least it didn't result in a counter kill, but they didn't get the kill in the end.
Yeah, and he's being left with almost 400 HP, and I feel like, okay, Master of Arms is only level 4, he's not even level 5, but with that level 4, he needs to lay down the acid before Pesty actually jumps in, and it is daytime at the moment, but... Is it? My screen is pretty dark.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the point is that it's
past
7:30. It should be night.
Yeah,
it's 7:30. So, point is they won't see the Pesty coming.
Okay.
They don't have a ward here anywhere here just yet. So Master can actually afford to go in. Maybe Puppet will even waste spells on him before after he gets his spells out. So Pesty would actually be able to run Puppet Master down.
Yeah.
They need to play extremely crisp right now in order to make a comeback happen here.
Yeah. 11 minutes. I mean, that if anything is kind of the good thing for Cat. It still is early. I mean, it is only 11 minutes into the game, but it is still a big lead that they are going up against. So, yeah, we'll see again. continue to see how they kind of slow things down and try to recover here. Arachna, 200 gold per minute. They are kind of prioritizing farming her right now, you can tell. They kind of switch things up. She's at that top lane now.
Exactly, yeah.
She is going to try to pick up her farm here. She's got the Steam Boots, the Soul Scream ring, so well on her way to an Energizer. At least just a little more team fight presence and, you know, more earlier on solid farm here. But Legion team, you have an Assassin Shroud already coming out soon here for Puppet Master. He's got the components, just needs the pattern.
And the lane ward is going to get killed here as well by the Legion side. It is obvious they want to keep going. They're not going to sit back and let any space here for the Elven side in order to make a comeback or get their first set of core items. And I feel like it is so hard for the Cats gaming side to just stay in lanes and farm and try to come back that way.
Yeah.
I think they need to accurately predict movement from
and our sound's off again.
There we go. Still there?
It's going in and out. I don't know if they can still hear us, but anyways, I think, yeah, whatever. They are doing triple stack H's in the meantime as MRR, so hopefully you guys can still hear us, but unfortunately our sound on our side just kind of cut out, so not too sure. But hey, in the end, MRR right here, they do have an 8-0 lead once again, 12.5 minutes in. You see it, they're just stealing resources now as well from Cats Gaming. They're just taking some triple stack camps right here. And Cats Gaming, again, they're doing their best to farm as a team, really prioritizing farming Arachna. But it's like, what item really are you going for that's going to be the big difference maker? Again, the early Energizer are solid, but it's not like they're really trying to farm that maybe that Shrunken Head or that Portal Key on a certain hero that will really maybe change things around. But
she will probably go for Energizer investments and hope for the best in team fights. What I wanted to say earlier is that they need to predict movement from the Legion side and be there with 5. And get like 3 kills without losing anyone or maybe losing a support. With such low GPM on the supports, it's not as bad to actually lose a support.
Yeah.
And that is what they need to do, and that's exactly what they're trying to do here, kind of. But I mean, they have ward vision, so they will see people coming from different angles. There we go. I think we're back.
If we weren't able to hear us, we should be back now. But if you were, then let's just keep going like normal.
Let's keep going. It's fun to cast for each other as well, right?
We're just like talking with them, we're just casting, you know, casually just by ourselves, you know, no big deal. Normally anyways.
Seeing them approach and he's peeking away, that's pretty wise because Rhapsody does have another in this room. And I mean, the HoN side, this was not too bad. They were all 5 middle and they weren't getting any fire. But they also forced MRR to be all 5 middle, and they were kind of like looking at each other and thinking about going. Obviously, there is a possibility of Magnus now as well. Level 10, you might want to wait for level 11 to completely roll over the HoN side. But I don't know, man. I think that this is actually good that they're farming a stack here with the Master of Arms asset. One of the reasons why Master was a very popular support some time ago. But I really think they need to get one good team fight, and then the things will look completely different. Yeah.
Oh, this is not going to help, though. Kwai's going to be caught out completely. No chance to live. And in fact, Sir Bennington stomps right on top of him with that Nightfall to guarantee the kills if it wasn't a guarantee already. So, top lane, though, they are going to group up now, push in the top side. So, again, this is what MRR needs to continue to be doing. I mean, they could play the game of more sitting back and just continuing to get further ahead in that sense, but you know why? You already have this massive lead. You're able to fight up against them just fine instead of ganks and whatnot. So continue to play aggressive, and that's exactly what they've been doing. So, Cats has been doing it, as you pointed out. I mean, they've been doing a solid job at least of staying alive for the most part since the very early game phase and kind of cleaning up some triple stacks and whatnot, but it's just not showing in the charts overall. They're just forced to play way too defensive because of the situation. And I mean, you got a Pestilence that's farming 343 gold per minute, but you know that only translates into a Portal Key, Blood Chalice, Steam Boots. And when they're not really getting kills themselves, that's really not the most effective. Uh-oh. He's coming in. Will he find the opportunity? Yes, he will easily. There's a jumping from Magnus with his own Portal Key. The Voodoo Puppet goes out. And wow, Pestilence just melted away. The chase on the Kraken. He turns away. He is going to be fine. Arachna as well, but there's a hold down on Kraken. He's supposed to release Kraken. Will it be enough to survive? No, well, maybe a counter kill opportunity. In comes the Spiderling onto Magnus right there, but they're going to chase. He misses the joust actually on Sir Bennington, but Arachna is going to fall when it's all said and done. Spiderling dies. Hat-trick coming out right there for Puppet Master. I don't know. I think MRR might have this in the bag early.
They're completely falling apart here. after the first guy gets caught, I mean, it's sad that your high GPM partner gets caught, sure, but you cut the losses and just go straight back. Yeah. Kind of staying in the vicinity, not exactly sure what he wants to do. Then getting caught out, then Arachne is, oh, Arachne's dying, might as well join him, and then she dies as well. And that's really not how you can get a comeback.
Yeah. So in the end, tower does fall right there, just over 16 minutes into the game. 15,000 plus goal lead, 11,000 plus experience lead coming out in favor of Team MRR. So Cats Gaming going to do their best to kind of try to persevere here and hope maybe it's just that case of just one last opportunity here, see what they can make happen. But clearly it's just not looking pretty. Again, they did win the first game though, and with the way the group stages are set up, you know, at least a split isn't the worst thing ever. Does get you still a point in those group stages, so. But obviously would prefer the 2-0, but again, they are so far behind now.
I mean, we were discussing it in the break that the SEA teams, how volatile they are, and I think this series really speaks for it. In the first game, you have a 75-minute struggle for both teams, and eventually Cats Gaming comes out on top. And in this game, after 17 minutes, you have 12-0 with a 14,000 goal lead. That's not even... There's not even misplays coming out here from the Legion side. They're executing it exactly as they need to. All 3 lanes won. So it's like it's a completely different team basically.
You know, the other thing that's actually kind of just hitting me too is that with MRR, it just so happens to be the team we're gonna be casting next. Actually, or set to be casting. Oh, there's a big fight going on right here. Actually, real quickly, Pestilence gonna be caught out right here. Energy Field is down, is blocking off any teammates to come in. Pestilence will fall, and now the Legion team just gonna group on mid right here and look to push it in. But the point I was getting at was that Team MRR, we're going to be casting them next here on HoNcast against Stay Green, actually. And the thing is, with the win here at least going into that game, I think that'd be better, you know, compared to if they were going to lose the second game, especially 0-2 to Cats Gaming. That would have probably been pretty demoralizing going up against that into Stay Green. So at least they're on their way to picking up a victory here, and that is important going up against a team like Stay Green in the following match. So, and actually, yeah, speaking of that, you're looking at the other series. It looks like, is that one actually over?
Yeah, it seems to be over. The second game was actually between ADN, X Orange, and now Stay Green. It was actually slightly more decisive than the first game. And the game finished with the last game actually finished with an exactly equal kill score, if you remember. But this game was a 28-13 in favor of Stay Green.
Yeah.
They got 2 rags, and that was that. So Stay Green eventually coming out on top with a 2-0, but they definitely did get a wake-up call. And I have to say, with the Southeast Asian teams that I talked with so far, for those that actually could speak English, they are not as afraid of Stay Green anymore. They are afraid of international teams in general, of Sync and BMG.
Okay.
But they're not as afraid of Stay Green anymore.
Really? Okay. Well, so, hey, they get a chance to prove it against Stay Green next match, and yeah, we'll see what kind of mindset they're in again. So a win here will definitely at least help that momentum going into it. They are playing very, very well. You know, maybe a lot of this has been focused on Cats Gaming not being the most successful this game too, but MRR, they are playing on the ball. There is no doubt in that. And it is showing here in the second game to try to finish off this series against Cats Gaming, at least with a 1-1 tie to get that 1 point of the group stages. Top lane though, you see Arachne, or you heard at least, Arachne gets picked off up there.
Carry versus carry, 600 GPM versus 220 GPM, and yep, someone came out of the top.
Puppet Master, man, he's speaking to Sir Bensington alone, but yeah, Puppet Master is going to be that carry of the event, I kind of feel like too. In the end, and again for good reason. Bottom lane, you do see Cats Gaming going to go for the attempt right here. Magnus, no, and it comes the protective melody from Rhapsody. Probably will get stunned out, but will it be enough for more kills on the Helper team? Absolutely not. Magnus is chasing them down. They do get the 1 kill engineer. That's their first of the game, actually. Finally coming in just about 20 minutes in. But the chase continues. Kraken's going to be caught out. Pestilence coming in for the counter. Not going to happen, though. Kraken goes down. Pestilence sticking his ground. He's going to fall as well. They will come back. No, he's barely surviving the bottle charges. Finally will get picked off in the end. But I think it's safe to say, yeah, GG, well played. Cats Gaming, like, enough is enough. Hey, we got the first game. That's at least I'm sure they should be thinking of it, and, you know, maybe even are. But in the end, MRR, they take the second game, and that means, again, so they split the series. And that is a series. Again, only 2 games for each team against one another. So that means they both get 1 point there in Group A. And with the way the other games mentioned, as Stay Green, they did defeat ADN. So Stay Green will now be on top with 3 points. And then, of course, ADN at the bottom with 0 points, going 0-2. So that's how that Group A is shaping up right there. And, again, MRR, we are going to be seeing them next against Stay Green as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can pull off against Stay Green. You kind of little grin right there. I don't know if that's a good grin or is that I don't know.
I have to say, I think that SG got their stuff together right now.
Yeah.
And I think that MRR, of the 4 Asian teams, is the one to get. Total Master and MRR don't have as much of a chance as ADN and S2I. ADN just lost. First game barely, but they did lose. So, I don't know. I hope it's going to be a good series. I hope so.
Obviously, yeah. We hope for the good series in the end. But yeah, State Green, hey, they did struggle against ADN in their first game. So